Hey there, good morning. I'm Karen Yankovich, and this is Link Up Your Marketing. I am here live a couple days a week, just talking about some simple tips and strategies and mindset strategies to help you move your marketing along, to help you really step into the person that you know you could be and to start building relationships using LinkedIn on that level. It's really powerful, and I love getting a chance to chat with you about that. We are live today. If you're watching us live, we are live today in my Facebook group, which you should join me if you haven't yet at linkedinforwomencommunity.com. We are live on my Facebook business page, which I haven't done in a really long time, so I'm excited to see what happens with that. Here we're live on LinkedIn, of course, and YouTube. And if you're watching the replay, I'm also open to answer any of your questions. Just drop them in the chat wherever you're watching this. And if you're watching this live, I'd love you to join me and let me know what you're thinking of these things as I start to talk about them. So just 2 seconds about me. My name is Karen Yankovich, and I teach LinkedIn marketing primarily to women. I definitely have lots of men and corporations that I work with, but my podcast is Good Girls Get Rich, and my digital program, or it's not really a digital program, I should stop calling it that. My program is called She's Linked Up, the She's Linked Up Accelerator Program, when we really help. I feel like women really need more of a leg up in being confident and stepping out and shining a light on their genius, and I am here for that. So that's just a little bit about me. Today, what I want to talk a little bit about is the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel. I don't know if you have felt that way, if you've ever felt like you're on the hamster wheel. You know, you're running an online business, or you're an entrepreneur or whatever, and you're being told Facebook, and people ask me all the time, how many times do I need to post on LinkedIn, right? I was like, that's the wrong question, right? How many times I got to post on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and, oh my gosh, stories and, and Twitter and all these other things like Clubhouse now and, I can't even think of the name of it, TikTok, right? Like all these places where we feel like we need to be, or we should ourselves on these things. And we're taught about this stuff, right? We're taught that I was taught, and many of us are taught, that when we want to use digital marketing, there's things like this we need to do, right? We need to have content. I'm a firm believer of that. You guys know I have my podcast that comes out, and I do these videos. But to me, it's easier for me to get up and do this than to sit down and create a whole crap ton of content to put out on Instagram or even Twitter. I have a lot of Twitter followers. I have a lot of Instagram followers. I don't really post there much. And I do think I want to get better at it, but this is going to sound crazy. I want to get better at it, but I don't necessarily think it's a direct path to income. I think that if I do a better job of sharing my podcast on social media, my podcast will get more visibility, and then that indirectly leads to more business for me, right? So that's why I want to do it. But I have to tell you, I hired somebody new this week in my business, and she said to me, I checked you out. I wanted to check out your social media, and like, you haven't posted in forever. I'm like, I know I haven't. Like, to me, I run my business using LinkedIn. I have done all that stuff. I used to teach all that stuff. I used to teach people how to use, I used to do it for them, right? Instagram and Twitter and Facebook marketing. And, I started to narrow down my niche to LinkedIn because I saw that that's where the money was. That's where people were making money. That's where their clients were coming from, right? So, but there's that hamster wheel that we were taught. We were taught newsletters, emails, lots and lots of content, SEO, stories, to do all these things, right? Honestly, it's a hamster wheel that I chose to get off like 2 years ago. And my business has been doubling every year since I chose to get off of the hamster wheel of doing all that content. And I know that's a little bit counterintuitive, but let me tell you why I think that is even more important now. We're coming out of 2020 where we were, and many of us were in lockdown for most of the year. Many of us are still in lockdown. It's spring of 2021. Thank God it's spring, right? But it's spring of 2021. And, we're starting to maybe make some lunch and dinner plans with some friends and maybe plan some vacations and things like that. But our lives have been virtual for a year or more, right? So what has happened is all of that stuff we were taught, when we started to learn digital marketing. You need to tweet, you need to Facebook, business page, group, which one do you want? Do you want both? How do you create them? Oh, then there's your personal profile, right? Like, do you accept people that you don't know? Do you not accept people? Can you guys hear how stressful this is? And that's just Facebook. There are all the other platforms on there, right? What happened when we got virtual was it exploded. So what was noisy before is even more noisy now, right? Because everything is virtual. I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, I couldn't keep up with my DMs. Like, I had DMs on every single platform. Like, I had DMs on, every platform, and some of them were from my clients, and some of them were from my staff, and or people that work with me, or friends and family. And I was like, I literally had to reach out to everyone. Like, I told everybody in my program, do not DM me, or you can DM me if you want, but don't expect an answer, because I can't keep up with it. If you want an answer, this is how you contact me. Because it exploded. The noise got so loud the virtual noise got so loud when we were more in lockdown. So now we're competing for even more space, right? With this crazy hamster wheel of content we were taught to do. And I think that, to me, I kind of was really very grateful that I landed years ago on teaching LinkedIn marketing, because I think that LinkedIn marketing has been the key to me doubling my business from 2019 to 2020. And we're probably more than that ahead already for this year, but that is not, and did you hear what I said? I don't post on other platforms. It's not like I don't. I will, and I do, and I'm not saying it, but my focus is not there. I do not focus on those platforms. My focus is on the people that I meet on LinkedIn. That's where the business is. And I know that it's the same for you. You may not know that yet, but I know that it's the same for you. And I know that because regardless of whether or not you think your clients are on LinkedIn, I know that there's people on LinkedIn that you can connect with that could have, that could be potential partners for you, right? Coming out of my podcast this upcoming week is a really interesting episode, and I'll talk more about it obviously next week once it's out. But I talked about how to use LinkedIn in conjunction with your virtual networking, right? So yes, like even Clubhouse, we can use like our Instagram account in conjunction with Clubhouse, right? And Clubhouse is natively connected to that, and lots of people do that. But that's not where people are doing business. Some people are doing business on Instagram, but lots of people are not doing business on Instagram. But everybody that's on LinkedIn is doing business on LinkedIn, right? So why not leverage your Clubhouse activity with LinkedIn, right? Taking away all the noise of, and I felt it, believe me, you might have even heard me say it. I felt the same way when I started to be active on Clubhouse. I was like, oh my gosh, does this mean I need to really have an Instagram strategy? Because I don't really want to. I mean, I do, I will, and we're probably moving towards that because I want to do that, but I'm doing it very clearly. To me, it's an investment in the podcast, which is an investment in my business. It's a backdoor path to bringing more money into our business, not the direct path, which is talking to people on the phone, getting on the phone with people, meeting people on LinkedIn, and getting on the phone with them. No spam. I never, ever, ever want you to spam people. We have lots of strategies on how you can connect with people every week, and I only want you to connect with 5 people a week. 5, no more than 5 people a week, because I do want you to actually call them and talk to them. I do want you to actually call them and talk to them. Okay, so if any of this resonates with you, this simple get off the hamster wheel, just talk to a few people a week and double your income, if any of that resonates with you, then we should talk. We should talk. Hang on, here's how you book a call with someone on our team to learn a little bit about how this might work for you. No sales pressure. We just really want to talk. Our goal is really to provide you value on every call. Anybody that I feel like I can be a LinkedIn convert, I'm happy to do, right? My goal for this year is to help 100,000 women reach $250,000 in income using LinkedIn, and I know we can do it. So if you want to be one of those people, or if anything I've said to you resonates and you want to just talk a little bit about what that might look like for you, then grab a call. Grab a call in our calendar. A couple years ago, so Krista Martin, I should tag you in this. So Krista Martin is a good friend of mine, and she's also been my coach over the years, and she's amazing. You all should connect with her and hire her as your business coach. when I was in her program, one of the things she said one day, and I wrote it down and I still have it here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see. Is what I am doing this minute moving me measurably closer to my goal? Krista, I've had this since that day on my desk. And I think it's important. That's what I mean. Like, is that Instagram post, is that tweet moving you measurably closer to your goal? Or is doing some research and connecting with somebody on LinkedIn that might be able to interview you for their podcast, or might be able to, get you in front of their whole audience? Maybe you could do a guest spot in front of their audience, right? Those are the things that are going to move you measurably closer to your goal. Not spending a lot of time creating new content and creating Instagram posts and all this crazy stuff. I'm not saying that doesn't work. If Instagram is your platform, then that's what you're going to use to move you measurably closer to your goal. But you're here, if you're here following me, then you know that there's something about this LinkedIn stuff, right? So book a call with me, KarenYankovich.com/call. And that's what we do. We try to keep it very, very simple. Simple is profitable every single time. All right. I will see you back here again later this week, probably. Take care. Carrie, I'm going to put this on here. We need to have a better understanding on how to be proficient on LinkedIn. Is there a program that provides a simple step-by-step guide of using LinkedIn? Yes. I have a program. Yeah, well, there is. Okay, first of all, there is. You can listen to my podcast. My podcast is definitely a place to get some great step-by-step instruction. But in addition to booking a call, if you're not ready to do that, I also have a free masterclass that does give you some step-by-step instruction on how to do it. Check that out at KarenYankovich.com/masterclass. Either one of those things is your first step towards, if you haven't watched the masterclass, watch it before you get to grab a call. If you know me and you've been hearing me for a while and you just want to learn about what it's like to work with me, then grab a call. But if you want to know a little bit about what the shifts I want you to make to be able to step into some strong LinkedIn strategy, then check out the KarenYankovich.com/masterclass first. See you guys all later in the week.